So welcome back, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So today we're going to once again talk about Sully's past issues with his reactivity and how he's doing with that and his, all his social skills. And some of this might be repetitive for some of you, so I apologize for that. When it comes to his reactions, I know some of what triggers him, but I also think a lot of it is just protection. As we all know, this breed can be very protective, and I think there's a fine line sometimes, or even not such a fine line, between them being protective and them being reactive over something that's fearful to them. Now, for those of you that follow me, I've struggled with his reactivity for a really long time, like since the beginning, and, also his social skills. And we know a few reasons why things the way they are, but, it's mostly lack of practice. But, we're still practicing on things. And yes, I know there are other methods I could do to quote unquote fix him right away. But I don't think that's necessary, especially since there is progress with the Husky house, which I will talk about later in the video. So we're going to talk about the vet office again. So we all know that whole situation is a bit of a trigger for him. It's like a giant fear fest, if you will, for Mr. Man. And we can't blame him because he went through a lot with that squeaker surgery. So it makes complete sense why he hates the vet office. But I'm glad to see he doesn't attempt to try to maul anyone there. There's no lunging, there's no snappy snaps to anyone, which is wonderful. Even though he's terrified and just shaking in his boots, so to speak, he still will go off with the techs. Like, there's no attempt of nipping anyone's legs, and, he will actually even let them touch him if I'm not around. That's the key phrase, if I'm not around. When we're all in the same room together, I still have to be the one to put him on the table. I'm the one that has to muzzle him. And we muzzle him for a just-in-case scenario, because we can see the lack of trust in his eyes that he has for those, bad, scrubby people, holding the pokey things. But he did take treats from the vet tech, and he also took some from the veterinarian, and he even tried to give her Paul to attempt to get another cookie from her. And I've mentioned this before with him, you can give him a cookie, and he will interact with you, and he'll do all the tricks, but don't touch me. Like, some people he will let come in for a pet, but then he acts nervous or freaked out, like, oh, wait, I forgot, I don't trust you, and you are in me and mommy's bubble. Again, I think a lot of it stems from all the things he went through with that surgery, but he's even had moments in public, reacting to people like he would towards another dog, but, that doesn't happen anymore unless you spook him or you're wearing a cowboy hat for some reason. Apparently that's now a thing. He now understands when we see someone in a public place, or even if we have to pass someone while we're walking, to come straight to my side and walk close with me. He does that automatically almost 100% of the time now when we see people. And if he senses something off about someone, or, that they're like tripping on something, sadly, that's not a joke about that one. But, those type of people, he will growl and he'll watch you like a hawk. And, my girls do the same. Like I've said many times before, trust your dog. Now, our last trip to the pet store, he actually took cookies from 3 different people. Gently, I might add, because, for a while there, he was like taking the drive-thru guy's fingers almost off with him. But that guy doesn't mind. He actually really loves my healers, and he knows how they are. But I always tell people, to cup their hand when they give him the cookie, warn them not to touch him, that freaks him out. And as long as you don't rush in our bubble, Sully is good. So people that tell me I need to keep a muzzle on him all the time, no, I don't. You just need to stay out of my bubble, because if my dog ain't going to bite you, I might. But that is a trigger for him, as well as when you surprise him or just, rush right into his space, which, in my opinion, also sets off the protection mode, because it's, yes, his reaction is based in fear and mistrust, but he's also wanting to protect what's his, because I'm his everything. You people are just his cookie dispensers, so he doesn't need you for that. He has mama for that as well. But I see more and more moments with him wanting to try to get pets from people, but I also see how there's just so much mistrust for other people. And I can see that switch happen in him, not just with his eyes, but with his entire body language. I see him really try so hard to want to trust people. He really wants to trust getting those pets. But then that fear sets in of what if this person's trying to take me away from mama for another surgery or something? I can see that hit his face. And, and he's like, nope, I'm staying with mom. I'm going to protect her in the bubble. You can really tell that that's a thing. I mean, this breed is naturally protective of their person, and not just their person, but they're naturally protective of the whole family unit. Yes, they pick that one person in the family, but they will protect that whole family unit. I've even seen my healers protect my cats from other cats, things like that in the yard. They are very protective of their family. They're so loyal. But anyway, I think I'm getting off topic again. I think we all know how loyal and wonderful these dogs can be. But anyway, and I just have to say real quick, I love that this boy still picks out something to eat every time we're shopping. Like, he always has to pick out some sort of bone and eat it right there in the store. It's one of my favorite quirks of his, and we've actually found some pretty interesting new treats to give because of him doing this. So I think we're good with people in public as long as you'll enter the bubble. And yes, I'm still planning on trying to do stuff, to practice with that stuff. I know I said that before, but, work and life just gets in the way of things anymore. And the home socializing is probably never going to get there. He's just very, very protective of his house. Like, this whole thing is his, his den. So you just can't enter it. But, for those who follow, you see that we got him to the point where he can be in a crate and be calm, and we can have guests over that way. And we've actually upped it one step to where I've taken him out of the crate on a leash for potty breaks while guests hide in the other room. So that's something too. So there's still progress happening there, not much, but I don't think we're ever going to get to that point of him being okay with people in his house. Like, and that's okay. Every dog is different. They're not all going to accept everything we throw at them in this world, Now, him and other puppies. So with his reactions to dogs, I know a lot of it's based in fear and, and protection of mother, because, the boy has some mama issues. Like, he just really loves his mom. But I sometimes think that fear is rooted in, he's had so many bad experiences of how other dogs have reacted to him. So like through the fence, we know the fence is kind of a trigger for him. So dogs that have come charging at us at the fence, that's definitely a trigger. That's a fear of something that is about to happen type thing, even though he can sit by a fence, with a dog on the other side, because grant you, it's my neighbor's dog. And then we've had all these other dogs that have charged us and caused things like that. So I know a lot of it is fear. He doesn't know if he should react. I can see that he has that. It's almost like a confusion with him. Like, should I try to murder this dog, or should I be calm, and just try to sniff and see if it's an okay situation? But the poor guy's had so many experiences. I think it's really confused him on what he should and shouldn't do. And then sometimes it just leads me to wonder, is the fence really a trigger at all? Is he just that protective? Or does it really just depend on the dog size and, how the dog smells, of course? Because there's one German Shepherd house we have no reactions at all anymore. Actually, 2 German Shepherd houses. But other homes totally, it's just total kill mode. And as soon as he smells those dogs, he's into, let's react, let's go after it. But those are the houses that have, the big dogs that have actually charged us, through the fence. Or he reacts to houses that he remembers where we got attacked by a big dog before at. Now, regarding our big Husky Malamute friend, who I officially have just named Husky at this point, I think he reacts a lot to that dog because Miss Gypsy starts to react. For some reason, Gypsy, I don't know why, I think she's picking up on Sully's vibe or something. She's been reacting for some reason to dogs, and she's never been one to do that. She's the social healer. I know, unheard of, right? But she's my social healer, so it's very weird. Or maybe in her head, she just thinks it's a wonderful floofy cow and just let me at him, because, Gypsy is definitely the most murderous worker we have. So I've had to rework things with her a bit. And, Sully definitely seems to be less reactive on lots of stuff when he's on solo walks. But I don't have the time to always do that. But we did actually walk past the floofster one day perfectly. And of course, I did not have my camera out. And that's another thing. When my camera's out, I swear he decides not to listen. I can't even talk on my phone while walking him, because as soon as the phone hits my ear, he stops listening and starts just acting a fool. He just becomes all sorts of naughty and, causing chaos. Freaking stupid smart dogs, But we have gone by this Husky mix a few times now. And each time, it hasn't been perfect as it was that one time that I didn't get filmed, but it's so much better. The fact that I can have him sit across or near that big floofster is amazeballs. We still don't go right next to the fence, but we're so close. It's unreal how close we're getting to this dog. So this gives me hope for other things I will someday try to do with this dog to just help him stay calm in these situations. And like I've said many times before, this breed is not your typical, very social or even calm breed. I know you all know this, that, have the healers, but for anybody new here, this is not your, I'm going to go say hi to everybody, not react to anything, just be a happy-go-lucky. No, they're protective, they're loyal, they're crazy, they're wonderful. But, they're wonderful in so many ways, but they're so protective too. And I have no doubt that any of them wouldn't put their life on the line for me, and vice versa for that matter. But my point of bringing all this stuff again is, there's a lot of new people on this channel, and also I'm still just, dealing with it. But you have to really start to study your dog, in a sense, trying to find out if it's triggers, if it's protection, if it's, because it could just be naturally how they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not huge on my dog has to be absolutely perfect on everything in the world. I mean, it's a big world. There's a lot of situations and things to experience and go through. And even if you put in all the efforts of great socialization within those, first 6 months of this breed, it doesn't mean it's going to stick. Unless you're Gypsy, who tries to jump into cars with people, which drives me nuts. But again, it's personality. Each dog's going to be different based on how they are, just naturally how they are personality-wise, and also what they've experienced in life. I mean, overall, I truly believe that healers are naturally reactive to things because they're protective. I don't think you need necessarily a trigger for them to be a reactive dog. I hope I'm explaining that right. Like, if you own healers, you'll notice they'll do what we call snappy snaps, where they do the healer snap at something. And most people look at that as a reactive dog or a dog who's being aggressive. And to me, after living with healers as long as I have, it's just them warning you. It's like, I don't like you. I don't like the situation. Let's get out of this and move on to something fun. That snap isn't necessarily a bad reaction. All my cattle dogs have had some form of reactivity at first. I can say Sully is the worst when it comes to socializing and trusting people. Like, even my Lou had better social skills than what Sully has. And I'm not saying that there is never triggers that cause reactions like this. It's just, yes, there are triggers that triggers dogs' fear and how they react to things, but then it's just sometimes just naturally how they are. And God knows that is one of the many reasons I love this breed. And regarding the bubble, over the years, I have really stopped letting people approach the bubble. I used to let people come up to my crew a lot more back in the day, and I don't now, because people don't listen. People don't respect my dog's boundaries, and that's probably why Sully is so protective of the bubble. I think he picks up on my vibe of, I don't even want people to come up and talk to me anymore. I don't mind talking to strangers usually, but when it comes to talking to people with my dogs around, no, because people don't respect my wishes for my dogs. And it's especially for Clea, for example, you have to take your time with her, and people don't respect that with her at all. And then she does a snappy snap, which she has every right to do. She's telling them to back off. You did not earn your pets. So you really have to earn our trust to get into our inner circle, But I'm happy with where he's at on all this stuff. I know some people have given me a lot of guff about that I don't know how to train my dogs. Whatever. You can fluff off with all that nonsense. I've trained enough dogs to have a decent idea of what I'm doing, and I know why he is the way he is, and I'm perfectly fine with him being that way. Our process might be extremely slow, but he's got progress, and that's all I can ask for. And you know what? It really doesn't matter if he's perfect for the rest of the world. He's perfect for me. But hang in there, guys. Just remember, keep training daily if you have to. I always say train daily when they're young, but even when they're starting to age, sometimes you have to train daily. Just keep working with them. That's all you can do. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the first 6 months is crucial. And sometimes when we can't get those good experiences in during that time period, we just have to rework and try other things later on. But that is it for today's video. Remember to click like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye. What's wrong? You talking to me? You saying stuff? Oh, yeah. You gonna tell me about it? You gonna talk about it? Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. How do you feel? How are you feeling? What? 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 Are you telling me how you feel? Say, Mama, I don't want to be here. Say I don't want to be here, Mama. Mr. Talker. Still gotta wait for the doctor to come in.